Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Digitally Uploaded podcast. I've stolen Alan's job as the host of the podcast this week. Hello, Alan. Sorry about that.
No, hello.
I did steal your job, didn't I? Whoops.
Yeah, look.
That's a mistake.
I'm gonna freaking cry now.
Yeah.
You've stolen my job. I'm gonna be homeless.
Yeah, that was bad. Sorry, Alan. Alan's here, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello,
Hi.
Alan.
Hello. Yeah, I'm alive.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a congestion podcast for me, but that's all right. We'll power on through that. It's about time I came back and wasn't a mess. So, one day.
Yeah,
Someday.
one day. We also have with us a special guest this week. We have Lachlan from Locked Up Games. He's recently released a new title on PC, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But good to have you on the podcast, Lachlan.
Good to be here. Glad to be back.
Yes, it was quite a while. It would have been at least like 2 years since we last had you on. So
some time.
Yeah. So
just a couple of days.
Yeah,
I'm sure we've got thousands and thousands of listeners that have been listening for that long, and
they'll remember you.
Yeah, exactly. So, anything interesting happened this week, guys? Any news that was cool? The video games that you liked that happened this week?
Look, I'm going to be real honest with you and just say that the PS5 being 8K is pretty dang neat. But again, I don't really care. And also, I have a PS4 and that's pretty good so far. So, I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm very tentatively excited for it. If you haven't heard about this, everyone, Mark Cerny had a bit of an interview. He's the infrastructure designer at PlayStation. He made the PlayStation 4 and also NAC. He also made NAC.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Good old man. Well, we will talk about the PlayStation 5 in the next section because it is pretty big news, and it's enough to delve in and go deep and talk about.
Matt's going to talk about the technology versus artistry, I will guarantee it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yep, absolutely. But yeah, that was obviously the big bit of news this week. Anything else interesting happened? I mean, other than of course the release of Alluna and Brie. That was pretty big news. That was amazing.
Big news for me. Don't know about anyone else.
No, it's been a pretty quiet week. Oh, the Xbox One's sad.
Oh, yes, that happened as well. Yay. Did you learn the Xbox?
Oh, I heard about that.
I love it. It's great. It just makes me so happy that they've made a console and called it the sad.
Yeah. You mean it makes you happy, Alan?
It does.
It's sad.
Yeah.
You're happy that it's sad?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good joke. Well done.
Thanks. Okay, let's go to music. Effort. Let's go to music. I'm done.
Yeah, let's have some Miku music, some good Miku music. We'll even let Lachlan pick all the music this week, so he's going to pick out his favourite Miku track.
Oh, I'm a bit rusty on my Miku. I'll let you pick.
I'll pick.
Okay.
It's going to be nothing.
Alan will pick. Alan actually has the biggest library of Miku music now.
Yeah, not because I want it.
It's because it's mandated.
Fucking by default bullshit.
He's got some good tracks. I'm not going to knock Miku.
I will. I hate it.
You're wrong.
I like how we actually haven't gone to the break yet.
Oh, right. Oh, shit.
Welcome back, everyone. If you enjoyed that intro, that's actually because we're all quite high on Easter eggs today as we record. And yeah, the
And
chocolates.
if you didn't enjoy that intro, well,
Too bad.
You're in for a wild ride today. But yes, let's talk about the PlayStation 5, since that is the news that was exciting for everyone. Obviously, we don't know everything about it yet, and Sony hasn't revealed it properly, but they've talked about it. And when they're talking about it, it means they're thinking about it. So, yeah, 8K resolution, which is cool, given how many 8K televisions everybody has.
I was going to make that joke, yeah. Like, it's going to be a piece of technology that no one's going to be able to use.
I don't know about you, but I've got 8K televisions basically in every room. You know?
Oh, right. No, I've got it in my, like, wrist. I'm
on
like
your wrist?
Yeah, I'm like Iron Man, you know? I just flip up my, like, skin, and it's like a little 8K television in there.
I wasn't even going to where 8K existed yet.
Yeah, also, I didn't even know it existed either, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know who's going to be using that, because honestly, I know that they're targeting the hardcore gamer aesthetic, but like, come on, like who's going to buy an 8K television in 2020? Because that's when the thing's going to launch.
Hardcore gamers, I imagine the people looking forward to Horizon 2 or Days Gone 2 or Ghost of Tsushima 2 or Spider-Man 2
Max 3, baby.
God of War 2. It's funny, Sony's actually set themselves up for an awful lot of twos next round.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's almost like they were very adventurous with their IPs, and then all of a sudden they realize, oh shit, we don't have to be adventurous. We can just make money. Screw it. Throw it out there.
I don't know if I'd be calling those games adventurous, but you know.
Well, they're new IPs. I think it's pretty ballsy.
I think you're being optimistic about a Days Gone too, though. Interesting to see how that one actually goes.
Oh, look.
It'll be like Days Gone, but with a different number on the cover. That's basically how it works.
2 days gone.
2 days gone.
Oh, that's really good.
That's actually, that's actually what it's going to be called.
Surely Tuesday gone. They just remove a day from the calendar entirely. Oh. Okay, PlayStation 5 though.
Yep.
Looks pretty cool. I think like Mark Cerny is a good hardware designer. Like he knows his shit. He's been doing this for yonks and yonks. He was one of the ones who helped with the development of Crash Bandicoot 1 back in the day, which was revolutionary for what it did technologically. So yeah, I've got all the trust in the world, and I think Sony sort of can afford to have a bit more of an expensive machine this time around, just because PS4 has done so well. And I know for a fact that because the PS5 will have backwards compatibility with PS4 games, I'm going to buy one. Because like I have no risk. There is no risk for me to buy a PS5 at this point.
I love how they kind of said that they didn't actually announce the price, of course, but they said some kind of weasel words. What was it? Something along the lines of the price. The console price will be in line with consumer expectations given the high quality of the product we're producing, or something. It's like, yeah, okay, so that could mean anything between $200 and $2,000. But anyway,
yeah, I'm expecting around like $400, $500.
Yeah, that's probably a bit brave. I'd be saying 600 to 700, Alan, to be honest.
Yeah, in Australia, yes.
That's my guess.
Yeah. I doubt they'll do 1,000 again, like the PS3.
You never know. Sony always does this. You know, they get to this high point, as they did with the PlayStation 2, and then they go and do something a little bit crazy and arrogant, like they have been doing in the back end of the PlayStation 4 cycle. They might well do that with the PlayStation 5.
No, get that ad of the baby doll just turning its
head.
I
think it'd be pretty cool that the PlayStation VR will be cheaper than the PlayStation 5.
Honestly, it makes me, again, it is enticing me to buy one. I think the idea of them improving PSVR, getting rid of the cables, makes me immediately more interested.
See, that is the one thing that I would, I'd jump all over a new version of PlayStation VR if they got rid of that cables, because I'm sick of them like strangling me when I'm playing games.
Are you sure that's not a message by the gods, Matt?
They start wrapping around my neck and stuff, and it's like, well, are you trying to choke me? Is this like a snuff game, or like I don't know. It confuses me why they have these.
Is Tetris Effect a snuff game, Matt?
Yes, Tetris Effect is most definitely a snuff game.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's a pretty cool feature though. I think that's a really good idea. And they've identified a problem with PSVR and they've fixed it, which is good. It's a good sign. It means they give a shit, which is a nice change of pace, you know? It's always makes it much easier when, you know, you have clear like design goals that they're working to. And I think it's really, really good. I would also say as well that the install base of the PS4 being so large at this point, I don't think they need that many people to be buying PS5s on launch. Like, they don't need it.
Especially with backwards compatibility, they can release a new PS4/PS5, kind of like the Xbox did, the 360 did.
I was going to say it's probably going to be the case that they release PlayStation or Sony games will have both PS4 and PS5 versions.
Well, if you remember back when PS4 launched, they had like Last of Us Remastered. And,
not just remasters, but like new games as well will actually launch simultaneously across PS4 and PS5, and then people who have the 8K TVs, or 2% of the people who play games, will be able to play them in that glorious 8K and see the veins on the Days Gone dude's head pop when he shoots a zombie or something. But
Destiny did that too,
for people who are kind of sane and don't care about that stuff, the PS4 version will do, and that's Sony probably playing a long game. Which is good. I think if Sony can extend the life of the PlayStation 4 and then give the PS5 as a kind of optional upgrade for at least the first 2 or 3 years of its existence, that would be the right way of doing things. Because I don't think we actually need all this power. And you joked about me having that rant in the intro.
Here we go.
Alan,
Here we go.
And here it comes. No, but seriously, I mean, developers don't need that much power anymore, especially unless you're like Activision with AAA games and stuff.
The Switch is the sign of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, the Switch plays virtually everything that anybody would want to play. And yes, there is a slight downgrade. Did you see the tantrum people are throwing about the downgrade on Mortal Kombat?
Why are they? Did they play MK Knight on Vita? Like, the fact that the game is running on a handheld console in the first place is a freaking miracle.
I think it's great. And yeah, sure, there's a slight downgrade, big deal. The fact is that the Switch is everything that people want for video games, and it proves that you don't need to have that kind of next level graphical fidelity nonsense.
No one complained about the graphics of Breath of the Wild.
Exactly. Well, Alan did, but then Alan's a little bit of an odd boy.
Okay, the frame rate was a bit bad at points.
It was some of the worst frame rates I've ever seen in the game, but that's just me, and I'm aware that I'm a psycho, so it's fine.
But seriously, you don't need that much power unless you're in that tiny minority of people that actually really care about that. And if Sony can, keep the PS4 going for people who just care about playing the game rather than the quality of the graphics, then that's a good thing.
I think the other issue that arises from that is that dev costs are going to go up so much.
Again.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you can't put the cost of the game up, because if you put the cost of the game up, people throw a tantrum. So what are they going to do? DLC and microtransactions and loot boxes and season passes. They're going to do that more, harder, aggressiver.
Harder, faster, smarter, stronger.
More EA-like.
Yeah. No, but don't you understand? The new EA Star Wars game has no microtransactions, no loot boxes, no sanity.
And that is the only selling point of that game. I love how that is like EA's selling point. It doesn't have microtransactions. Well, good on you, EA. Thank you for that marvelous piece of art that you're producing.
There'll have to be something, though. There's got to be like an expansion pack or like Borderlands-esque. I'll believe it when I see it with Star Wars. Especially if it's received well.
We'll see. It's by Respawn.
Yeah.
It'll be good. If it's by Respawn, it'll be good.
I'm very excited for it.
If it looks like it's going to have wall running as well, so that's all I care about. I want Titanfall 3.
Yeah.
That's literally all I could ever ask for. That'll be a launch game for PS5, I reckon.
I'm wondering if Ghost of Tsushima will be pushed to PS5. I think it might be.
Yeah, it'll be a Last of Us remastered situation.
Yeah, no, I think it might actually be pushed to PS5 as in original launch. I think there was news that came out, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, that hiring at Sucker Punch seems to indicate that actually they're still fairly early in development of that game. So in that being the case, it might have been pushed to a PS5 project.
It's the new Anthem.
And we know that Kojima's game is going to be pushed to the PlayStation 5 and possibly the PlayStation 6 or 7.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, because he can't develop a game in time. He's too busy doing, cutscenes.
He is busy doing cutscenes and saying the same word between characters again and again and again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then some weird baby thing.
Yeah, and then demons.
Yeah, for reasons.
Yeah, because demons. Heck yeah.
It's just reasons. That's basically the summary of Death Stranding. It's reasons.
Demons and also babies, the game.
Yeah.
It's a good game. I'd buy it.
I'm sure you will.
I probably will. Yeah. Honestly, like I'm gonna buy. I have to see what it's about.
think everyone would be interested in
I
that.
think that's the point.
I
It's
have
probably
to know.
the most generic game in the history of games. It's probably just like Call of Duty minus anything. But
So cool.
yeah, it's just cool. But actually, because Kojima spent so much time making it weird, people are just going to be like, yeah, I should buy it just to see what it's about.
Because how can you look at that trailer and not think, what the hell is happening?
That game needs David Cage to be brought on as a consultant.
No, it does. That's the last thing it needs.
That'll fix it.
It needs loopers more than it needs that.
That'll fix it. David Cage will put it on track.
Yeah, he'll fucking have a naked Ellen Page in it for no goddamn reason. Ugh. God, I hate that guy.
On that
Heavy
note,
Rain was all right. I'll
Ugh.
defend Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain is
Rain was
alright.
alright.
It is the least off the deep end one.
Yeah.
Heavy Rain was
Have
great. I
space
love Heavy Rain.
slice.
I got all the time in the world for Heavy Rain. I does.
You know what, Matt? I'm really glad you do.
I do. On that note, we're going to go to some music from Heavy Rain.
No.
Yep, we are. We're going to use some music from Heavy Rain, the 7 of video games. Because 7 is a good movie. And Heavy Rain is a good game. Be quiet now. everybody, and now let's talk about Smash Brothers, because that was the other big bit of news that happened this week. Nintendo and Atlas and Sega and whoever else was involved threw Joker out onto Smash Brothers and immediately melted Nintendo servers. So once they fixed all of that up and bought a whole bunch of new servers and got people up there and playing again, people were playing Smash again all over again. And it was good times for everyone. Everybody had good times.
They have actually been spending more time removing dicks from the game than anything else.
Yeah, that too.
That's
but
my favorite bit.
I mean, Alan even has been having a good time, and Alan never has a good time about anything anymore. But he's been playing Smash again and enjoying it.
Yeah, I hate everything, but
yeah, you do. You really do. But it's good, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
Joker's all right.
Yeah,
Joker's
so
a bit of a right.
Can I do a little bit of a breakdown for him for like huge nerd fighting game nerd nonsense?
Yeah, be my guest.
Yay! Okay, so
only if I can do the same for Marie Rose next time we talk about Dead or Alive.
Absolutely, go for it.
Cool.
I'm gonna regret this. So Joker is he's a fast character, but he's not the fastest character. He's if you've ever played Phoenix Wright in UMK3, no, not UMK3, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you would sort of understand his risk reward gameplay, where he's fairly weak when he doesn't have Arsene, who is his persona. And as soon as you get Arsene, he is able to do a lot of kill moves fairly comfortably. So he's built around this sort of huge risk and reward sort of gameplay. His neutral B is a gun. It is just gun. And I love that they've just got a gun in the game. I think it's very, very funny. And the fact that if Kirby eats you, he gets a gun. So Kirby has a gun now, canonically. His moves can also be like sort of a bit like Dante from Devil May Cry. He can do gun kata stuff, which is really, really cool. Not that useful from what I've seen so far, but very interesting. Might be good in the future. I don't quite know yet. I'm not Zero. Side B is Eiger, which is his curse move. These are all enhanced as well, by the way, with Arsene, which is really, really interesting and gives you a lot of reason to sort of play aggressively in order to get into Arsene right away. So his down B is a Royal Guard counter, again, very like Devil May Cry, where if you time it right, enemies attacking you will only do half the damage to you, and your rebellion gauge will grow up, so you'll get Arsene faster. It's really, really cool. Really good idea. Love it so much. He's got a lot of really natural combos as well, which sort of flow into each other from what I've experienced. He has a lot of utility, but he's just very weak when he's not in Persona mode, which is a bit risky. I don't know how good he'll be in the long run, but I think right now he's in a very good space, particularly if you've ever enjoyed, playing Fox or Falco or something like that. He will come more naturally to you in that regard, and his aerials are pretty good as well. So yeah, I see him being fairly strong in the Smash community, but I'm not super sure where he'll be yet. He's not Bayonetta from Smash 4 because that was broken, but he's not bad. He's not Bowser Jr. That's what I'm trying to say.
That was an impressive breakdown, Alan. Congratulations. Let's give him a clap.
Yay.
It was a good breakdown.
It was very good.
Only mostly sarcasm.
It was pretty good. I mean, he's still easy to whip with Simon. That's the main thing.
But
Simon's great.
See,
I'm totally pro at Simon now.
Oh, Matt. Can you do that?
Great.
Can you do the 100% kill combo?
Yeah.
Like from 0 to death?
Yeah. I saw that and then decided, I'll give him a go and I'll figure out how to do it. So yeah, I can do that now, which is pretty cool.
I can't tell if you're joking or not, and it's.
I'm serious. I'm actually pretty good at Simon. For goodness sakes, I play these games, Alan. Didn't you see me post up my most played Switch games?
Yeah, it was like Football Manager, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all Football Manager, but then Smash Brothers. The top row was all football games, and then Smash Brothers was the next.
Yeah, Smash is awesome. New stage is freaking sick as well. I don't know. The reason that I was the most excited about this was hearing Persona 4 music.
Yeah, that was pretty good. The music's great. Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah, and the fact that the stage mementos changes colors based on what song is playing. So if you're playing Mass Destruction from Persona 3, everything is blue because it's the midnight hour. Yeah. And I love that. That is just I cannot explain how much I love that.
So that means there's 4 characters left to go in for DLC, at least that Nintendo's got planned at this stage. And what are they going to be is the big question.
Dragon Quest Boy.
Yeah, there was rumors that it was a Dragon Quest dude, wasn't there?
Yeah, it'll be either 11 or 5.
That's disappointing.
No, it'd be fine.
It needs Chocobo, I'm telling you. It needs Chocobo.
They won't put Chocobo in because every, I think, what's his name? Man who sells his life for Smash.
Sakurai?
Yeah, Sakurai. He has said before that they're not adding any more characters from games that have already been in Smash.
Chocobo hasn't been in Smash.
No, but Final Fantasy has.
No, but Chocobo. I'm not talking about Final Fantasy Chocobo. I'm talking about Chocobo.
Chocobo Adventure Chocobo.
Yeah,
Matt.
Chocobo Mystery Dungeon Chocobo.
Look, I get
It's
what
not
you're
Final
saying.
Fantasy, dude. It's not Final Fantasy. It could happen. Do not ruin my dream like this, Alan.
I want to so badly.
Do not do it to me.
Yeah, no, I reckon we'll definitely get Dragon Quest Boy.
Oh, we'll get Hatsune Miku too, for sure, because she hasn't been in any other game. So she's there. She's totally cool.
She'd be a good grab for them to get, but...
She'd be great. Everyone, the number of nerds that would go and download Smash Brothers just to play as Hatsune Miku in Smash Brothers would be mammoth. It'd be great. It'd be perfect. It would be the perfect marriage between Nintendo and good stuff.
Between Weeb and Weeb.
It would work, I'm telling you.
It probably would. Honestly, they'd make it work.
Yeah.
I would also probably say
it'd be like, but actually more realistically, it'd probably be like some stupid Call of Duty dude or something.
No, I was going to say
Kevin Spacey. It'd be Kevin Spacey from Call of Duty.
Oh no, but
and his smash attack would be Mash F.
No, I was waiting for a much worse joke.
I know, me too.
Look, Matt, you took that in a much safer place than I expected. Good job. Oh god.
They said it might be Steve for Minecraft, which seems like a huge waste, in my opinion.
No, but it makes enough sense.
Yeah, I could see it happening.
Yeah, because he's going to use his diamond sword or some nonsense. He'll build blocks to hurt people.
Is nuts popular with the kids.
Yeah,
on the Switch.
Yeah,
it's Switch.
It's one of the top sellers.
It's possible. Yeah. It's possible, I guess.
And Microsoft have been fairly cool about the idea of adding in, their characters.
Sharing their characters. Oh, it might be Cuphead. That'd be pretty funny.
I would love Cuphead.
Yeah.
But that'd make the game too difficult, though. It'd be too hard to play.
Yeah.
No one would be able to play it anymore. Game would be banned from tournaments.
Shantae?
Shantae will not be in there. She's already a spirit.
Yeah, she's got... Oh, that's right. That's a pity.
It's annoying because she would work very, very well.
Yeah, the hair whip would be...
I'm surprised she wasn't in it, honestly.
Yeah. Look,
probably one of their biggest indies.
I think there's also a fairly reasonable chance we'll get a Marvel character. There's a reasonable chance that we'll get either a Capcom character like Okami or Beautiful Joe or something like that, or a Marvel character. Because
Okami, you mean Amaterasu? That would be pretty good.
Yeah, sorry, Amaterasu, or even on the baby version of Okami.
Chibi.
Okami Den. Yeah, from Okami Den. But
possibly Resident Evil, I guess, if Capcom.
I don't know how well that would go down.
Yeah,
just because we don't have RE2 on the Switch. If we had RE2 on the Switch, I'd say
oh, that's right. It's not on the Switch, is it?
No.
I've only got Revelation games.
Oh, we'll get Sora. We'll get Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Like, it's going to happen.
Maybe.
Yeah, it has to. I'll cry if it doesn't. I just want to hear Face My Fears.
Oh, I know. It could be Murray Rose from Dead or Alive.
Matt.
I don't think so.
I think so. These things could happen. I mean, Nintendo and Koei have a pretty good relationship going. Yeah. Oh, it could be Nobunaga. That would be great.
I don't know how they feel about putting historical figures into this game.
No, not Nobunaga. Nobunaga.
Oh, right. Okay.
Jesus, Alan.
The real ass guy.
Nobunaga.
Murdering Kirby.
Okay, so in Japan, Koei has this series, which is all the historical characters from Samurai Warriors, but cat versions of them. If you type in Nobunaga with a Y, Nobunyaga or whatever, if you type Nobunaga in, it comes up with this cat, and he's great. He's a cool mascot. He comes to Tokyo Game Show every year. He showed up in Warriors All Stars, and he's awesome. And he'd be great for Smash, actually. Legit, he'd be cool.
I'm looking at this right now, Matt. I'm going to be real honest. I hate this.
Oh, you hate good things, though, Alan.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get a Monster Hunter, I reckon, actually.
Oh, that'd be right. Some lame generic character that doesn't actually have a name. And
no, we'll get the cat from Monster Hunter. The
Iru.
No, Palico. One of the Palico cats.
Iru.
Okay, well, there we go.
Iroh will work.
Yeah.
He's got his own series and everything.
We'll get Commander Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender as well, while we're at it. Good show. We'll get Rorschach from Watchmen. We'll get Dr. Manhattan with his dick out. Explodes everyone and leaves. Its final smash just breaks the entire world and fucks off to mine.
Brixie game.
I would love that so much.
That's so many options. They have so many options. They could take this game places.
I wonder if Alan
They're playing it safe, really.
Yeah, I want Alan Moore to start crying over Watchmen being in fucking Smash Bros.
Well, that's it. The 4 of them will be all Alan Moore characters. So it'll be like the dude from Hell. It'll be Jack the Ripper from Hell.
Oh gosh, no, it's Hellboy.
It's Hellboy.
It's the new Hellboy, everyone's favorite movie.
Is that still Ron Perlman, or did they get rid of him?
Oh, it's the guy from Stranger Things.
Oh, boo! No wonder it sucks.
No, there's a lot of reasons why it sucks.
No, not Lisa Witch, because they got rid of Ron Perlman.
Yeah. And also, Doug Jones isn't playing as my son, and I hate that. He's a good character.
On that note,
Smash Bros.
On that note, we'll go to some Muzaks.
Music's nice.
We'll pick some music from one of the personas that is in Smash Brothers, I guess.
Yeah.
The one that has the
remix.
The one that has the deeply offensive lyrics in it.
Oh yeah. That's too soon.
Oh, too soon. Sorry.
God.
And welcome back, everybody. Okay, so for the last section of the podcast this week, we are going to talk about Alluna and Brie. I hope I pronounced that right. Is that how?
Alluna, close enough.
Alluna, that's right. Alluna, because after the moon.
Yep.
Yeah, so Lachlan, great game. Congratulations on getting that out there. Yeah, it's been
Read your review
for a
this
while.
morning. You guys were really nice about it. Oh, you were, Matt. Yeah.
I enjoyed it a great deal. It was really good fun. It's been, what, 3 years in development? 4?
Yeah, three and a bit if you count all the sprite production and everything. I started it back when I was writing my previous game, Max's Big Bust, and just slowly been working on it for years and years.
Like I said, congratulations on getting it out. That's really great. And I got to admit, it's awesome to play a Japanese RPG which has a sausage sanger as an item.
Yeah,
that's a pretty cool thing.
Get them for $2 at Screws and Snags. Lots of Australian references. There's not that many games really set in Australia that don't treat it like a complete parody, like the Super Bogan sort of approach. I wanted to try and do a life sim that felt like actual Australia to an extent. Yeah,
well, actual Australia as far as it can be done with anime characters.
With anime characters, of course, because I love the art style.
With big boobs and stuff, yeah.
Of course.
No, it's really good. I must admit, like I said in my review, I never expected that I'd play a JRPG where the characters start to lay into the coalition government. I thought that's a great touch.
I needed a plot reason for Brie to have a job. I'd recently got a Robodebt letter from Centrelink that I was very angry about. And I went, well, this is a useful excuse to get her working, but not earning so much money that it breaks the game's economy. Because I was worried with like minimum wage, people would be like, you should be getting $200 a day. And I'm like, I can't, then you'd have too much money to buy sausages and stuff and sausage rolls. So I figured that's a really good plot device and have a little bit of a jab.
I love it. That was your way of balancing the game.
And then Brie got a letter from Govern Link, which is definitely not Centrelink.
No, definitely not. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Same with her working for free. I figured, I can reference the internship program to explain why she's not getting paid to fight monster girls for the government. Yeah, I figured they were a good plot device.
Jesus. If you're in Australia and you didn't involve a vote, I'm going to fight you in the street.
I voted. So, I'm in territory, so
you should absolutely send this game to Bill Shorten to play, so he can run it as part of his election campaign.
He will be so baffled.
Because I would love to see footage of Bill Shorten playing Alluna and Brie. I would pay a lot of money.
Too well.
I would pay a lot of money for that.
Bill Shorten and his sexy anime girls.
I would pay a lot of money to see that happen.
Oh God, yeah, no! I would pay a lot of money not to see that happen. Jesus, he would be so confused.
Yeah, I wasn't really political with the game, but another one I used was the whole, instead of killing the monster girls, you're sending them to detention centers offshore and stuff. Just lots of plot devices.
Oh God.
They have teleporters. That way you're not murdering thousands of people,
No, it's not. It's far out, dude.
I haven't made a statement. I've just used it to my advantage.
It's quite a irreverent game. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
it's all humor, and the political jokes aren't the only thing that's funny about this game. It's got heaps of humor and lots of Aussie humor as well. I love that there are Lamingtons in there, and it's like. That would never happen in a Japanese game because the Japanese really don't understand what a Lamington is.
They're fantastic.
I know that from personal experience. They're like, wait, it's stale cake, right? It's like, well, originally, yes, but that's not how we do it now. But you try and explain that to them. But yeah, it's such an interesting mix of a game. And it's very Persona-like.
The big fan of the Persona series.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that through the game. It's amazing. It's... I
haven't seen. There's been so many since Persona came out. I didn't really want to clone its style because there's been so many games. Like Idea Factory has a few that stylistically look very similar to Persona, but no one seems to be doing the whole life simulation, time management stuff, which to me was the main hook that got me in. Don't get me wrong, I love Persona's style, but there's just something missing with the spin-off games, even Persona Q, where I just want to hang out with characters and go on holidays and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my favorite Persona clone is Caligula Effect, but Caligula Effect takes its Persona likes from the way it does its characters and kind of level design. It doesn't have that time management thing.
Yeah.
That's quite uncommon. So for me, it was actually the time management stuff reminded me a little bit, perhaps more of Atelier for some reason, because Atelier is
Yeah,
obviously very
I've
big
played a
on,
couple of those.
yeah. So obviously there was a lot of time management kind of the feel of the time management came a lot from there, which was nice. I like my Atelier as well.
Because I love Persona 5. I had some complaints about it.
Oh
but
no.
The biggest complaint I had was that
Putting you and
Persona
Alan on the same
4
podcast was a mistake.
they had so many in Persona 4. You'd go on holidays. You did like the snowing event. There was the beach event. You went to the Persona 3 town, and for me, the highlight of those games, and Persona 3 as well, had a beach scene that I loved. Was when the storyline sort of takes a bit of a back seat for a moment, and you get to sort of hang out with these characters in like believable situations. It kind of feels like you've got friends, I guess, and that. Well, you know what I mean. I have friends, but you sort of relate to them on a different level than you do other characters. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Alan does.
Yeah.
Because Alan doesn't actually have any friends at all. So.
You should play Alluna and Brie then.
Sorry, continue on. I'm really sorry.
That's all good. But yeah, I really wanted to have lots of like holiday events and friend events and social stuff that I feel a lot of games really do on like a smaller level. Yeah, so that was the main goal, was to try and get that sort of fun, hanging out with friends sort of feel with the characters and the cast and everything.
Yeah, it was really good, and I mean, I always thought the Persona series did the beach scenes just purely for the point of fan service, but
nothing wrong with that.
Well, I was going to say your game certainly ramps that up pretty quickly as well.
Yep.
I was pretty impressed by that actually, how quickly the fan service came in thick and fast with it. So. I think you'll have
all a bit of lighthearted fun.
Yeah. Again, it's all very. It's in the tongue in cheek, and it's in the spirit of the, I guess the humor of the game, which is great. Because we don't have too many games doing that. You wouldn't be able to get this game on the PlayStation now.
You don't think so?
Nah. Sony would be like, nah, we don't want it.
They want Life of Black Tiger instead.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Have you actually considered a console port though? Because I think this thing would go down really well on Switch in particular.
Looking into it, I made this one. The reason why it took so long to develop was I had it made in Unreal Engine. I tried doing it myself a few times. I tried Unity. I tried Unreal. I even went back and tried Game Maker, which I used to be good at. But because I've got so many assets, there's about 60 different character sprites, all in HD, plus all the battle sprites. It's like 40, 50 enemies. I tried to make like a full-length game. And a lot of these programs, Game Maker and Rempi, which I was used to, aren't really designed for anything of that scale. And I am not experienced enough to do it in Unreal or Unity. So I had to hire a programming team to do it for me. And we did it. They're a great team, Frag Games, based out of Pakistan.
That's where that came from. Because I mean, obviously, I saw Locked Up Games and then Frag Games. I'm like, what the hell's Frag Games? I don't know them.
They're a production company, basically.
Nice. Okay.
Found them through a freelance website, and I've been working them for about a year. Game took a little bit longer because it was a bit bigger in scope than we all anticipated, but they did a really good job for the most part. I'm really happy with it, and I could potentially port this to consoles now, which is fantastic. I want to get a bit more further down the line before I look into that. I want to get some more feedback, maybe fix some bugs. I can do a lot of that on my end, which is good, and then I'm going to look into getting it on Switch. Is the goal. I think it would resonate quite well with Switch because it does feel, because it is that kind of indie version of Persona. It feels like something that would be good to play in handheld anyway. It just feels absolutely. That was one of the reasons why I did it. I need to get my finances right a little bit before I can get all the porting stuff sorted.
Of course.
Yeah,
that's always the way. Yeah,
no, absolutely something I want to look into.
That's exciting. Hopefully, it happens.
Hopefully,
yeah.
I'm actually kind of interested. Just what was the dev cycle like? Because you said that you've been working on this for 3 years.
Yep. It's been a tumultuous dev cycle, to say the least. I've still got a part-time job. I still work at a pathology lab, like 20 hours a week, just to cover costs and things. So 3 years ago, I was writing Max's Big Bust. That was a lot easier to do. It was just a straightforward visual novel. I wrote the script, hired some freelancers to do all the artwork, and then it was just a case of me writing it, updating the game, upload, yada yada. This one, because there's so many different interlocking systems with the life sim elements, I wanted to expand upon the hanging out with friends element I'd done in Max's Big Bust for the romance. I wanted to have the ability to see all of a character in a single playthrough. Because with Max's Big Bust, there were 5 love interests, but once you were locked in, a lot of the storyline you couldn't really go back to because it kept advancing as stuff happened in the story. Yeah, I'm making motions with my hands. You can't see, but with Alluna and Brie, I wanted it to be like, okay, here's these 10 friend events you can do in any order, and you could see it all in one playthrough, which was the plan. And yeah, I got, I don't know, a few thousand hours into programming it myself. I got it working, but the load times was 48 minutes, which is a little bit too long. I went, what have I done? I've wasted thousands of hours of my time, and it doesn't work. So yeah, I started from scratch with the programming team. And that's that. So I think I had 2 attempts at doing it myself before realizing these guys need to step in. So it's only really been produced by the programmers for a year and a half. But it's been good though in some ways because I've been writing the entire time. Originally the game was only going to be 3 chapters and it was only going to be like 5 or 6 events per character, but I managed to increase that to 10, added on the holiday events, added on some Australia Day stuff, etc., etc. Yeah, I made it so in my universe that if you're caught not being drunk on Australia Day, you can get fined. You know, just Aussie stuff. Yeah, it's been difficult, but I'm really glad it's came out. For a while there, it got a bit hairy. I didn't think it would be released, but just pleased to have it out, and people seem to be enjoying it. The feedback we've got has been pretty good. Yeah.
Where did the art come from? Was that you? Did you hide?
Oh no, I cannot draw at all. Hired a Japanese artist called Doku Denpa. They did art for Max's Big Bust. I found them by complete chance on a freelance website called Skillets. They applied, loved their art, and then I've just stuck with them since, and hopefully I can get them for future projects too.
Yeah, they're very good. Good.
They did art for it was a Vita game called like Criminal Girls or Prisoner Girls or something.
Criminal Girls, did they really?
Yeah, they did some art. Not for the Vita version. They did all the art for the PC browser version, but that's what. Right. So they've got actual game development stuff up their sleeve.
Yours is an actual game too, you know.
Yeah, I know, but like, it doesn't feel real when you're doing it yourself.
No, yeah, I'm a big fan of Criminal Girls, and Alan's not. So
I haven't played it. I did look at all the art dumps as part of research into them.
Yeah, it goes places.
Yes. It's a bit more fan servicey than me.
Yes, it is a little bit.
Just a tad.
And how have you found the experience of being, I guess, a Japanese game developer in Australia? Because most Australian game developers are not. Most of them tend to model themselves after, I guess, Western game design. Have you found it difficult to participate in the community, or have you been able to find events to participate in? I noticed you haven't been to PAX. Is that?
I haven't been to PAX. Is really expensive, and I can't justify it at the moment. I've met a couple of developers. I'm going to be honest, the response hasn't been super great. I've been called out for my fan service and stuff. It's just everyone seems to be working in like small teams, and they're looking for like a collaborative experience, and that's great and all. But I tried that myself, and I found it's much better when I'm like running it like a studio where I'm like paying people for their work, and it's all very controlled. So networking has been difficult. I have gone to a few events. There's been to Smash, been to Supernova. There's a really small one up here near Coffs Harbour called NexusCon that I go to every year. That's a bit of fun. I met you at Smash a couple of years back.
Yes.
Yeah,
I remember. You Smash.
Yeah. I sort of always seem to get lumped separately from the other game developers, I guess, because my booth looks so different with all the anime art and stuff. Yeah. I'd like to hopefully network more, but it's difficult. I'm not in Sydney. I live in a small rural town called Armidale, which is in the middle of nowhere. I'm probably the only game. Oh, I take that back. There was another game developer in town, the people that made Aussie Maths Invaders, but they don't really count.
Well, you'll be happy to know there is a game journalist in Armidale, Trent, who is on the DDNet team. He's actually
really
as well. Yeah, I think it is, or is it Tamworth? One or the other. Was it Tamworth?
I think it's Tamworth. Yeah.
Okay.
They're all the same out in rural Australia anyway. They're all the
Tamworth's
same.
Not very far away.
Yeah, they're all the same town anyway.
Yeah.
No, have you considered going to TGS? Because I think there's another game developer, what they're called.
I know who you mean.
Cyanide.
Cotton Candy Cyanide. Yep, I've spoken to Tina.
Yeah, Quantum Suicide's a game they're producing. They've been to TGS a couple of years, and I've always
interesting name.
Yeah, I've always seen that they've had quite a good following at their booth in the indie section of TGS. Have you considered that one? Because I think your game would obviously resonate quite strongly with the Japanese.
Yeah,
but then it's not in Japanese, is it?
No, the localization's a huge problem for me. I've got the script for this game is close to 500,000 words. I wrote a lot. There's like 100 heartbeat events, which are the social link equivalents, and I looked into it. It's going to be a very pricey game to translate. It's something I'd like. If the game does really well on Steam, I'd love to get it and my previous game, Max's Big Bust, out in Japan, because I think there would be an audience there. But it's finding the money for such a massive translation cost, and that's money.
That could be another reason to stick it on Switch. I mean, if it was also on console, you might be able to find a publisher to take that on for you.
Yeah, I'll try shopping it around. I tried a few places back with my previous game, but that was just a visual novel, and they're a dime a dozen nowadays. But I've actually got an RPG now, so hopefully I've got a bit more swaying power with publishers. Yeah.
It would be good. It would be good to see. It's always good to see Aussie developers go over to Japan to do well.
Yeah, I think it's a market I definitely want to break into.
Especially, I guess these days now, the Japanese publishers are also looking at China as a market, and you might also get, translated into Chinese, and that's
wouldn't be against that at all.
That's another big market to go after. It's a good space. It's an interesting part of the world, and it's good to see some Aussie developers are actually participating in it rather than just producing American style stuff. Not that I have a problem with Hand of Fate.
Matt hates America.
Not that I have a problem with like the stuff like Hand of Fate.
Matt hates all games.
Hand of Fate and what's the City of Brass and Hollow Knight, and Australian developers have done really great stuff in that Western style. I just think culturally and geographically, we're also quite close to Asia, so it's nice to see some developers also take on that challenge.
I just love the anime art style so much, and every single anime seems to be set in a Japanese high school, and I just feel there's a lot to offer just by setting it. I mean, my thoughts were Americans are going to play Alluna and Brie and go, this feels culturally very different to Japan, but also very different to America. Yeah, I think we've got a lot to offer in Australia. Yeah.
Yes, if nothing else, if you manage to educate some Americans about the joy of sausage sanger, then you've done a good job.
I made them the cheapest and best food in the game for a reason.
They actually look like the Bunnings one too, which is great.
Yeah. I set them a reference image, the artist.
I actually, when I was playing the first time I saw that, I was like, I could do with a trip down to Bunnings right now.
Yeah.
So,
honestly, like, I don't know what it is, but there's something about the idea of going to a hardware store that is uniquely Australian to get food.
I know.
It's like, it just makes me think of like a 35-year-old man who has a little bit too much time on his hands, who starts a YouTube channel called like Tools in the Shed or something, where he goes to Bunnings and reviews tools. And he exists entirely on sausages.
as opposed to a 35-year-old man who starts a website called digitallydownloaded.net and has time on his hands, and so goes down to Bunnings to get a sausage.
And also eats sausages.
because he saw it in a game. Yeah, thanks, Alan. Thanks a lot.
No worries.
Remind me of my mortality. And then I've got a final question for you, Lachlan.
Yeah.
Now that every game needs to have DLC and stuff, I'm assuming Alluna and Brie will have DLC as well. What can we do to get our mascot character digitally downloaded, DD, in as a DLC character?
I'm not doing DLC. I'm going to do a standalone expansion. Close though.
Oh well, she can be.
He's going to
she can be in that one, right?
I'm waiting for Luna and Brie, Eater of Souls. It's just full on Diablo 3 like parody. I would love it. Okay.
Running around cute magical girl outfits. Yeah.
We've got the character right here for you. You can have all the artwork, and
Matt is trying very hard.
I don't know.
I'm desperate to get DD into a game, so
I could get a cameo in probably. I'm doing an expansion pack focused on I've got a robot girl character set up in the game, Sarah, and it sort of hints at her backstory. I'm going to do a standalone expansion pack, which is going to reuse a lot of assets. And I'm planning on a hologram girl, so I could potentially get DD in there somehow. I'll have to think about it.
She could be like a journalist or something, hard
maybe
stories. Yeah.
Send me your assets. I'll look into that.
I will do. There we go.
Yeah,
you heard it here first, podcast listeners.
I'll try.
We finally got DD into a video game.
Hopefully. I'll give it a go. I'm serious.
I think we've managed to lose Alan's sanity completely. From
No, I just don't know how to. I have nothing to add. I don't. Look.
I love DD. I've been looking at her on the website. I like her in that. Admittedly, it looks like she's peeled off Hatsune Miku's face with that wig. I love that image.
Yes, the cosplay one. I love that one. That's
Just like, is she taken it from Miku? But yeah.
That's it. Yeah, she just ripped the hair right off.
Jesus Christ.
That's what I thought when I first saw it. I love it.
All right. Well, we should probably wrap this podcast up. Thanks very much for being on, Lachlan. It's been really great to have you. We'll try and get you on a little bit more often, I think.
Absolutely.
You're good fun.
Thanks.
And I've got to keep pushing for this DD thing. So, yeah, it'd be great to have you on again soon. In the meantime, if you've got some music from Alluna and Brie that you want to share, we'd love to play it to round out the podcast.
I'm sure I can find something.
I don't know if we can find it on the YouTubes yet, but if you've got an MP3 or something, we can
send it to me.
Yeah.
All right. I might be able to do that.
Hooray.
Maybe the battle theme or something.
Yeah, the battle theme's great. I seriously
like
love that battle. Yeah, I love it. I
got it off Shutterstock. I listened to it and I went, "Oh, this is great. This fits the." I thought it might annoy some people, but no one said anything yet, so that's good.
No, it's really fun and charming. I love it. It fits the game perfectly.
I'll send that across.
Sweet. Well, thanks very much, and thanks for being patient through this last section, Alan.
That's all right. It's not. I'm not like hating everything. I don't know why there's this like narrative that I hate.
He's saying it through gritted teeth, but
just like I don't know. I can leave.
No, we love you, Alan. We'll have
convincing.
we'll see you all next week. Thanks for tuning in, and yeah, definitely go and play Alluna and Brie. You're gonna love it if you like anything to do.
And
with
check out Matt's review.
Yes, my review's great.
It is.
Humble as well.
Always.